welcome to your saxophone lesson on page 6 in your Sound Innovations book. So make sure you've gone through page 5 before you start this video. As we move through the page, I'm going to explain the different things that are on the page. Again, don't forget to feel free to pause the video, go back and replay songs at the speed that works for you. You might be able to go a little faster than what I'm going. You might have to go a little slower. And you might have to take a little time to get your notes to come out. Don't worry about it. Or you can rewind it and go back through songs a couple times in a row so you play along with me a few times. It's up to you on how you want to do it, but the options are there. This works very, very similar to how we do lessons right here in this very room, which hopefully we can start back at some time in the near future. I hope. Whoops, let me mute that. Sorry about that. All right, so first song on the page, it's just moving between the 3 notes that we learned in the previous lesson for page 5. Your G, which is your first 3 fingers, and it's on the second line, Ernie gave. Your A, which is on the second space, and it's your first 2 fingers. F, A, notes in the space, spell the word face, F-A-C-E. Notice in the first note, you've got note G, then we've got note A. Then our next one, it's on the 3rd line, Ernie gave Bert. That would be your B, which is just your first finger pushed down. Then it goes back to the second space. Notes in the space, spell the word face, F-A. And then our last note goes back to G, Ernie gave. It's on the 2nd line. Now, like you just saw me write down the notes, you are more than welcome to do this in the book. I am not going to do this for you in the video. I just wanted to show you what you can do and how it looks. Because remember, the more times you write it in, the more you'll remember it. So at first, you might need to write your notes in. And then over time, you want to stop doing that so you don't need to. Because eventually, once you get further in the book, you're going to have a lot of notes to be writing in, and you don't want to be doing that because it takes a long time, and after a while, your hand gets really tired. Especially when you get into junior high and high school, and we might play songs that go on for 2 or 3 pages. That can take quite a while to go through, and I don't want you to have to spend all that time doing that. Now, it doesn't mean you'll never write in notes ever again. Even I occasionally have to write in a trumpet fingering or something to help me remember, because there's so many things going on. Sometimes you just need that little extra reminder. Doesn't mean I don't know my trumpet fingerings. I know my trumpet fingerings, but sometimes you just have to write them in because, it is what it is. All right, so we're going to look at this very first line, 3-note combo. So get your sax up and ready. Remember, when the notes share the same fingers, leave them down. So in this one, you're only doing your G, your A, and your B, and your first finger can stay down through the entire song. So whole note gets 4 beats, whole rest gets 4 beats rest. So here we go. 3-note combo. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest. And that is 3-note combo. Now we're going to look down to 3rd times the charm. Again, nothing new in this. It's just changing the order of the notes. So take a second if you need to and pause the video and figure out what notes you got to play. If you're getting really good at that, which I hope you are, then you don't even need to write them in and we can just go. So here we go. 3rd times the charm. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest. And there is 3rd times the charm. Now we're going to look down at number 8. Number 8, we can't practice the words, the definitions we're going to learn in just a second in here. We would normally practice that during band time, so hopefully at some point we can go over that, but I do want to explain so you know what it means. The word solo. You see right there. Solo is one person is playing or performing by themselves. Sometimes you might play with what's called an accompanist. So while I'm playing the songs, if there was like a piano player playing behind me or a band, but I'm the one that's there playing all the melody and what people are there to hear, that means I'm playing the solo while the band is accompanying me. When we're all playing together, that is different than me playing something that stands out a little bit more. So a solo is when one person is performing alone or with an accompanist. And I did not say that word very well. Now what you're going to see in number 8 is you're going to see where it says solo and then band, solo, band. It's going to jump back and forth because if we were in a band rehearsal, I'd say, okay, for this solo note, I want you to play. Then everybody plays together for the band. Then just you play for the solo, then everybody plays together for the band. So we do a little back and forth to practice that. Since it's just you and me, we really can't do that very well. So we're going to play match the pitch. The one thing I want you to be thinking about through this one is now there's no breaks. You're going right from one note to the next note. So you need to be ready to go. All notes are whole notes, so 4 beats for each note. Ta, ah, ah, ah. So here we go. Match the pitch, number 8. Starts on your A with your first 2 fingers down. Get that reed kind of wet. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Notice as you can hear the ta sound as I switch from note to note or repeat the same note. Make sure you get that nice ta sound, that when you start the note. All right, and the next line down we have a new symbol called a breath mark. Looks like a big comma, like a really fancy comma. And in number 9 you'll see that that is above a lot of the notes, or just between a lot of the notes. The reason they put that in there is that tells you the place that they suggest for you to breathe. The reason being, I wouldn't talk like this because it's really hard to follow, and it's really hard to talk that way too. You want to make sure you take the breath in the right spots so when you say your whole sentence, it makes sense. That's the reason they put this in here, because once you start getting into songs, they're giving you suggested places to breathe. You can also write it in yourself to let it know when you want to breathe in songs as a little reminder saying, hey, this is a really good spot to breathe, and you can write that little breath mark in there. I do that all the time in my own music. So it's just a place that it suggests for you to breathe. Doesn't always mean you have to. If you can get to the next spot you have to breathe, that's fine. But it's just telling you, hey, it's all right if you want to breathe right here. So again, note to note in this one in line 9. It's not having any rest between the notes, so you got to be ready to go. Here we go. It starts on our B. Ernie gave Bert. 3rd line, B with your first finger down. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Breath of fresh air. Remember again, if you need to pause the video, go back and practice, or you can rewind it and go back and practice it again along with me. Feel free. Don't feel like you have to move on right with me. If you did really well on it, awesome. Then move right along as we're going through the book. But if something's giving you trouble, please stop and go back and work on it. Do not move on, because if you move on while something's giving you trouble and you go to something that's even a little harder, it's going to be much more challenging, and there's a good chance you won't even be able to play it. The book keeps building page to page. You cannot move on until you get good at what's on the page, because the next page is going to have that and more. All right? So here we go. Number 10. Same thing. Just different notes in different orders is all it's doing. 1, 2, ready, go. breathing easy. Last song on the page of page 6. 3Z Does It. Same thing I've said in the past couple songs. All whole notes, just changing the order of notes. It's starting to jump around a little bit. So here we go. 3Z Does It. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, so take your time on this page. Go back and review anything that was giving you trouble. Take your time on each song. Just as I've been saying, you're going to hear me say this a lot in the videos. Do not move on until you get good at what you're already going over. And that is your sax lesson for page 6. When you get good at this page, you can then move on to page 7.